Me too. All right, guys, can y'all hear us? Yes, they can. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, what's up, Soil Brothers and Soil Sisters?
Soil family. So
technical difficulties this morning, guys.
It is Sunday morning. We Sunday. Hey, Tom and Rhonda. Good morning, Soil family. Today is Sunday morning. It is a gloomy-ish day here in Savannah, Georgia, but we ain't complaining. Trust me, because it get hot here. I hope y'all are having an amazing weekend. We have had a great weekend. I know Bobby had an awesome weekend. I mean, he was working all day yesterday. I was calling him when I was headed home, and I was like, "What's he doing?" He was still working. He said, "Well, I guess it's too dark, so I'll come in the house now." I was like, "Goodness." But anyhow, I hope y'all have had an amazing weekend. Good morning, Soil family. As you enter the room, if you could be so kind of share this live out. Give us some type of reaction. YouTube, you can double tap the screen if you are on your cell phone, and make sure you are following and subscribe, because today we're going to talk about diabetes.
Follow us and subscribe, guys, on YouTube. Bobby and Sherry. Nope.
Facebook.
Black Tropical Homestead. Facebook, Bobby and Sherry Lifestyle, and Facebook, Black Tropical Homestead. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, follow us, because we found out a lot of people that actually watch us, our channel, are not subscribed
or following. Yeah. So. And it's totally free. It is totally free. Yeah. Hey, my Bobby.
Now, if y'all decide to get a subscription, we'll be appreciative, but it is not mandatory.
Yes. So,
hey, Yandale.
See, somebody said it's 49 degrees in Iowa. Let me tell you, break out the snowsuit. We are headed to Front Royal, Virginia in 2 weeks or a week and a half, something like that. Now, coming from the South, we always have to worry about being underdressed. So when we get to Front Royal, we always got to run to Walmart and buy more clothes because we be freezing.
So we made a mistake and left our house at about 70 degrees earlier in the morning, get to Virginia, and it started snowing.
Oh, that was when we were going to Virginia Beach that time. Mm-hmm. And it was so funny because we took rabbits to Time to Grow.
Yeah.
So, when we left home, we had on flip-flops and shorts. And we were just riding. And my mom was like, "Oh, I'm going to meet y'all off the highway and bring y'all some chicken. We can sit in the car and have lunch together." Okay. Well, my mom pulled up and she get out. She had on a fur hat and all these clothes. And we were like, get out the car. It was freezing. She was like, "What's wrong with y'all?"
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Temperatures could be so much different.
So much different. I was like, we left home. It was almost 80 degrees. But we are going to be prepared this year for HOA, which is Homesteaders of America. Unfortunately, the tickets have sold out. They usually sell out in the first week or two. But we are looking forward to seeing everybody. That the 5,000 people that's going to attend HOA. It's always amazing to attend those events. Yes. Website will update every Monday. Now we do update it sometime during the week if we have some extra stuff left over. But the website update every Monday morning by 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know we get a lot of emails because things sell out so fast, and I'm so sorry. But by 9 a.m., we will update the website. Hey, Teresa, sometimes we do it early, 7, 8 o'clock, but you just got to check because we try not to send out a bunch of emails that, hey, we just updated the website because that can get on your nerves. But
so, guys, it's a lot of y'all just came in, say good morning. I want to say good morning to each and every one of y'all. I hope y'all having an amazing day. Welcome in. We're going to have some nice little chats today.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about reversing diabetes. And I do want to start by saying this is not medical advice. I'm going to let Bobby, y'all know I keep trying to push over on Bobby, lead this conversation. But we cannot give medical advice. Bobby is going to pretty much talk about how he combat and fight diabetes. It's not something that you just do for the moment or a week or two and then stop. This is a lifestyle. We have to make this the new norm if you want to heal yourself, because we know that I always talk about how God blessed us, not only when he created us, but he blessed us when he gave us all these plants and herbs to be able to heal ourselves. He gave us a self-healing mechanism. Our body can heal itself, but we have to do the work on our end. We have to put it in the right gear so it can heal itself. And no matter how old or how young or what you have been diagnosed with or what those doctors are saying, we got a higher doctor. He sits so high and he looks so low that he is always in the healing business. No matter what we are going through, we can come back from anything.
Yeah. So guys, common sense, all right, just things that should be known that we just don't think about. You know, there's not a creature on this earth that don't have everything it needs to actually survive. You know, the foods they eat, whatever they thrive off of, they actually have it in nature. It's put here for them. So we're no different. Everything we actually need has been put here for us. And of course, because we are smarter than the average, we decide we're going to start tinkering with things. So scientists decide, well, the best way to get to keep the food supply the way it is for a growing society is to tinker with it. So we want to make this plant make more. We want to make it last longer. We want it to be bigger. We want it to be prettier. But then you take things away from it. So then you have problems with stuff. All right. So a lot of the chemicals and stuff they put in your foods is just to preserve them. Now, are we going to lie to ourselves and say that they're not putting stuff in there to make your body dependent on it? No, we're not going to do that, because that's definitely what happens. And we go through life eating, not even thinking about the stuff we put in our bodies, and all of a sudden it messes up the way our body works. That's when all these other ailments come into play. It's because of the stuff that they have done to nature's food, God's food, that actually got us our bodies all turned around. So when it comes to diabetes and your body not being able to handle all of the sugars that you're really not supposed to be putting in your body, that comes from all the carbs. When we say sugars, guys, remember, sugars, your carbs turn into sugars. If you eat breads, they actually turn into sugars. You know, so that's everything from your cookies, your sodas, your juices, your sugars, you know, all that stuff. And your body is not designed to be able to handle all of that. So at some point, some of us gonna have a problem with it, and your body is not gonna be able to process them sugars no more. Now, with me, it happened at a later age, and I had no clue I had this problem. I noticed things started happening, but I didn't know what was the problem. So the common question that people ask is, how do you combat diabetes? Well, the way I did it was I changed my way of living. All right. They said that I was going to need some metformin. I was like, I don't want to take the medicine. I need to figure out how not to. I had a conversation with some people who went through this already, and they suggested the carnivore diet. Did some research, and we went straight to it.
So what is the carnivore diet?
So a carnivore diet is when you actually pretty much you live off of meat, healthy fats, and pretty much protein. So I had eggs, I had all kind of meats, from pork, chicken, beef. Those are my main staples. Healthy fats, animal fats, good olive oils, butters. All that stuff there was good for my body. Now, some people say it don't work quite as well for them, but most people say it works amazing. When it comes to fighting this stuff naturally, guys, you got to be willing to do the work. If you're not willing to do the work, it's not going to work. If you want to know people who say, I want to just take a pill and I want to eat everything I want to eat, and I'm not going to change nothing, then you don't even need to hear this conversation. Because if you really want to fight it without the medication, you're gonna have to change the way you live. And this is a way of life now. You're gonna have to live that way. You can't be going to eat half of pieces and drinking all the sodas and eating all the candy and donuts and all this stuff here. You know, if you get your stuff under control, moderation can be done. But if the more you actually get yourself in the right state, the less your body will crave all those things. Now, it's still a struggle for me because I don't adhere by 100%, but I make sure that I'm doing the most I can to make sure my body is in good shape. All right, so if I see something that if I'm someplace where I ain't got nothing else to eat, but some of this mess, I make sure I eat a very small amount. So I make sure I keep myself in check. You have to change your whole mindset, guys. We came up all our life, we came up eating all this junk, from the cereal, to the cookies, the cakes, the Debbie cakes, the candies, the sodas. We came up with that. Now, at our late age, they're telling us we got to change all that. That's not easy, and not everybody gonna be able to do it. But what I don't want to do at this late age is stress out my organs. And when you take medication, synthetic meds, your body has to break that stuff down. It has to run through all your organs in order for it to release into your body that you can help do what it's supposed to do. And guys, that's a lifestyle too, because you're gonna have to take that medication for the rest of your life, which will more than likely be shortened because of all the stuff you're gonna have to do. Because of all the stuff your organs got to do, they're gonna shut down sooner than normal. So if you're really serious about working on diabetes, I will find a diet that's low in all sugars, all carbs, all anything that got to do with sugars. And you have to put your mindset to I want to live, and I want to live as healthy as possible. And I'm telling you guys, if you can get yourself to that point, it feels amazing. Like you will suffer initially from wanting all these sweets, and then all of a sudden it'll turn off. Now it's up to you to keep on eating, even though you ain't got those cravings. But you really wouldn't have those cravings as bad once you get your body in check. Your body will build up an equilibrium. And now, when some people gonna say, "Hey, you're not supposed to eat animals," I do not believe that. I believe we are 100% supposed to eat animals. We are carnivores. We are. Our body would not allow us to eat something it wasn't designed to eat. Now, once you start eating that stuff and you get your body back in check, can you incorporate some little things into your body? Yeah, you can. I do eat vegetables, but I eat mainly meat. So I have a nice portion of meat and a little bit of vegetables on the side. If anything, we will use a grain that's natural, that's not man-made, like an einkorn. We use ancient grains for all our carbs now. If we're gonna eat any kind of pasta, it's gonna be from an ancient grain. Now, ancient grain is a grain that was naturally put here. It wasn't scientifically made. It works in your body differently. Even if you have glucose problems, it will sometimes you're gonna eat that even with those glucose problems because it don't have the glucose in it like the one that's man-made. It tastes way better and it functions in your body a lot better. So you definitely want to change everything about the way you live. We talk about all this stuff. We talk about your salts. We talk about your wheats. We talk about meat. We talk about growing your own vegetables. When it comes to vegetables, guys, all of them are not created equal. When they change everything, everything is changed. And you don't have pesticides in your food that you grow. You know exactly what you've done to your vegetables, and you have no idea what's been done to the other one. So when everybody else is having the recalls on all their foods because some crap happened to their food, you know, you ain't got to worry about that. You can just keep on living like you live. We try to produce a lot of our meat, but we can't produce it all. So, you know, we eat rabbit, which is one of our main staples, but we produce right here on our homestead. We know there's nothing going to be wrong with it. We know it ain't been injected. We know it ain't been fed no crap. We know it's pure. And when it goes into our body, we're going to get all the nutrients that we're supposed to get and none of the bull that they actually do to our food. So we ain't got no steroids, we ain't got no chemicals, we ain't got none of that stuff. No injected for health, none of that stuff. Everything is good. So that's the nuts and bolts of it, guys. I mean, you're gonna have to change the way you eat. The way I did it was with the carnivore diet. You know, people gonna have their differences of opinion on that, but I have seen thousands of testimonies where other people have done the same thing. So y'all definitely can do it if you try, if you want to do the work.
If you want to, but what I say is, even if you are not diagnosed diabetic or having issues, always say we should all look at things that are low on a glycemic index chart, especially if you are diabetic. Our children, you know, we want to be careful with them because Bobby wasn't born a diabetic. So here in his mid age, he all of a sudden became a diabetic. So
I said, looking at my cousin, like, I ain't know.
I know. Bobby always called himself old. Look, he mid age. You want to look at things that are low on a glycemic index chart, and that's what you want to target. You want to eat more low GI foods or glycemic index foods. And always say leave room for that 10%. Like this week was my birthday. By the way, thank y'all for all the birthday love. So we had cake, ice cream. We did go out to eat, but of course we went to a nice restaurant where we could have a better choice in meats and food. And we did good there because all we had was meat and vegetables, asparagus, and salad.
A lot of doctors on YouTube advocate for the carnivore diet.
Yeah,
guys,
they do.
It absolutely worked. I am a testimony. We actually, once I did it and I got myself down, we've been taking my blood sugar, on the regular, and it never went back up.
Yeah, and it was all about, and I thought, I always talk about how I thought I was doing us some justice by, thank you, making our breads and desserts. And I was just going to the store and getting flour and making it at home. Now that is way better than buying it store bought. But then when they said my blood sugar level is high. So I was like, I don't know why, because like I make everything homemade and I don't understand. But it was still the wheat was our main thing.
Yeah, that's when we found the wheat.
We had to do a deep dive into what is going on with our foods and why is his blood sugar level so high. His A1C was high. I said, well, why is this and what do we do? So we did a deep dive into the wheat, which most people consume wheat all day. Our kids, first thing they do, eat cereal, pancakes, waffles, or something. For lunch, what are we eating? Chicken nuggets, French fries, and then at nighttime, what do they eat? Pizza, pasta, spaghetti, mac and cheese. All of that is full of crap.
It's sugar, it's carbs, it's the bad carbs, and then you got to think about the chemicals that they use on top of the bad carbs.
Yeah.
And we ingesting it, and we expect our body to be able to handle all of that.
Yeah.
And there's no way our body is designed to combat all the stuff that we are doing to it.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, like I talk about chicken all the time. If you can't raise your chicken or get it from a farmer that is raising their chicken, you want to be careful with that chicken, because even though it say no hormones, no antibiotics, no steroids, you can't believe what the labels say, especially in the United States. They process this chicken, they put it in the store for you to consume it and your family to consume it, and we wonder why our hormones are off. So it's the same way with the wheat. They spraying the fields because if they don't, they losing money. One thing about the United States, they ain't losing no money. It can cost us our life before they lose some money. So they spraying these fields and making sure this wheat is good, and then they stripping it of everything that we need, everything that our body needs, and putting synthetics in so it can have a shelf life. They can produce more. They can make more money. It's all about money.
Be bigger, be prettier, all that stuff.
So when it comes to the ancient grains are not easy to find. There are some organic ancient grains. We have sat down with the CEO of Grand Teton, and just to hear him talk about how much they care about their grains, like it's amazing. So you want to make sure you are getting an organic grain, whether you are grinding it yourself. Some people say I can't afford a grinder. You can get ancient grains already grinded up, but that is a great start. And once you taste that, you ain't going back.
You drop Grand Teton?
I did.
I'm gonna tell you, you don't want to get a good grain that's been sprayed. And most of the places won't say that they don't spray this.
Yeah.
Grand Teton said they use absolutely no chemicals. They use no chemical fertilizers. They use no chemical bug sprays. None of that stuff on their wheat.
Yeah, he said he did that for his family.
Yep.
He wanted to make sure his family could consume. And that's what some of these companies started with, because their family was sick and having issues. Even Hunter, the family was sick and having issues with eating meat. They were having issues with bread and different things. So what do I do to help my family? So once they found it and they knew that their family could safely consume this, they decided, okay, we can offer this to the world.
So Lily, about Ezekiel flourless bread, I have no clue. Do you know that they're doing what they say they're doing? That's the question. You know, there's a lot of claims on packages that are just not true. Now, if you know for a fact that whatever you eat don't have that, and it's not chemically made, because they cannot have flour in it, but it could be made with a whole bunch of other chemicals.
Yeah, a bunch of grains.
Just like they say sugarless things.
Grains,
Like,
yeah.
how does it get sweet? So they're using something that's similar to sugar that may even be worse than sugar, just so they can say it's sugarless, sugar-free. So
And
just be careful.
Like it's like oatmeal. All oatmeal is not the same. Some of these oats have been heavily sprayed. So you want to make sure you check out where you buying your oats from, and make sure you're getting a good organic oatmeal, because in the United States you can buy a label and put anything on the label and they will allow it. Money talk. So long as you got the money, you got a label.
So I can't remember the name, but you ask if you can't get to a farm and to get your meats, where do we recommend? Well, there are places that most people don't even pay attention to. That's gonna be close by where you at.
Yeah.
You have to search. You have to do the work to find out where it's at. Now, where we at, we use Hunter. You know, they're close to us. They do ship to certain areas, but you will have to call them and find out, because they won't ship it to you if they can't get to you in a certain amount of time. So you can look, and I'm telling y'all guys, this conversation is not something that we created. These talking points are not ours as much as they are conversations that's being had in places that we don't really listen to. So therefore, what you want to do is you want to listen to what we're saying, do your research, and go and find this stuff for yourself. All right. So when we talk about your food systems and what you should be eating, all this stuff is known, but it may not be known to you. Just like it wasn't known to us until we started looking into it.
So I'm gonna read this. Deborah said, I live in the middle of farmland in northeast North Carolina, and watch from my window and drive down the road the spraying of thousands of acres of corn, wheat, soy, cotton, and potatoes. I'm here to tell you, all of these are heavily sprayed. And the sad part is, not only are they spraying these crops, but that mist is floating for miles and miles And if you live in the middle of farmland where they mass produce things for us to consume, they all over the place spraying. And you live right in the middle of it. What people are carrying babies, we got little kids outside playing and doing things. All of y'all are consuming the crap that they are spraying. So it's not just the crops that are suffering, but I mean, even though they selling it and shipping it all over the place, but y'all that live and drive through this area are suffering also. And that is just that's just horrific. Like,
yeah, so you talk about stuff that's poisonous to your system. Most of us think just because when we eat it, we don't immediately get sick, that it's not poisonous. That's not true, guys. If it's going into your body and it's doing harm, and over a period of time, your body reacts, maybe years later, that's still because of the chemicals and the way that they do in our foods. And they know that you're not going to be able to point to their product because that's not all you eat. And that same chemical that you're eating in that product is in a whole bunch of other products. But what they tell you is that you can consume this safely in these doses. But that dose is in that part that you're eating. But then you eating other things that got the same dose and other things got the same dose. And in a day's time, you eating a dangerous amount of whatever that chemical is. And it's doing really bad harm to y'all. What you doing? Get your butt.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna put that chair.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
But it's just making, we gotta pay attention. They know that we are creatures of habit and convenience, and that's where they got us at. So they make things so convenient for us. Now we have this bad habit of just running to the store to get things. I ain't got time to make a loaf of bread. I don't have time to raise my own food. Or I just ain't doing it because that is disgusting or that is weird. We got to stop looking at things. I thought it was weird. I ain't even gonna lie. My husband asked me some years ago, he said, we were in West Palm, I think. He said, when I go home, I'm gonna order me some chicken. And I was like, I don't know about that. Chickens to eat? We had chickens for eggs. He said, yeah, I want to raise meat birds. And I was like, I don't know. I'll just get my chicken from Sam's because I know I can't do that. I have never been on a farm with processing chickens and animals. So no, thank you. Well, I got him chickens. We raised them and I didn't mind raising it. I love raising the chicken. But when it came time to process them, my brain was like, I think the bird got something to say. My brain was like, no, we are not going to do this. But I sucked it up and put my big girl panties on, and we got it done. It was so fulfilling to process those chickens. The next day, Bobby said, well, I'm going to cook a chicken, but I know I got to cook it to the point where she going to love it. He could have cooked two, because I could have ate a whole chicken by myself. And I know he could have ate a whole chicken by myself, but it was by itself. It was so good. And I was like, you know what? This raising chicken is different. Like the chicken tastes different. We knew what they had been consuming because we had them in a chicken tractor and moving them around. And it was amazing. But, but there are a lot of stipulations when it comes to raising your own chickens. You got to make sure they're good. You can keep them protected. They eat a lot of food. It's a bunch of little things. But I had that mindset of I ain't growing and raising my own food because that ain't me. I was not raised in this lifestyle. I don't know nothing about it. And I can't imagine doing that. But together, we were able to do it. Like my husband dispatched, and then I'm good to go after that. It's just having a team.
Yeah, it's a journey.
It's a journey, and you can't say what you won't do because we get in that habit too. Is I'll never do this and I'll never do that. Never say never. If you want to heal yourself, if you want to do better in life, those I ain't gonna never do. We got to put those on the back burner and learn different things. Go to HOA. They have a chicken processing class. The Farmhouse Fair down in Florida. I think they do pigs. They show you how to process pigs and rabbits. So all of these different events you go to, they have processing classes, and it's hands-on. You go in there and you process these with them, and they help you and show you and teach you how to do these things. I know Justin Rose got something on his Abundance Plus where he let people come out and process with them and teach you this. We need these skills. Don't wait until it get worse. It's already bad. And then say, I need to learn how to do this. Because then it's harder. As we get older, we keep putting it in our head that I can't do. I'm terrified of frogs, even though I eat frog legs. I used to. But I'm terrified of frogs, but they don't keep me out of the garden. They don't keep me from going out and doing things. So you just gotta change your mindset. Ask God to help me get through this. And trust me, one day you're gonna say, you know what? I need to learn how to do this. And once you go out there and put your feet in the dirt and put your hands in the dirt, it's gonna be a whole new ball game.
I've seen a couple of questions. Chicken tractor. We actually built our own chicken tractor. So they're not hard to do. It's instructionals online. You can build one, or you can go and purchase one. It's up to you.
Yeah. Bobby used all PVC pipe, right? And hardware cloth. So, and so the thing with the chicken tractor, you can put wheels on it or not, but you need your wheels to be able to go up and come down, because you don't need your chicken tractor sitting off the ground.
Something will climb.
Because something will climb, yeah, and you got to keep it protected because something will dig too. But you want to be able to keep it light enough to where because the first time we raised chickens, I was out there moving the tractor every morning. So you want to make sure you can move it. I knew that I could wait and get Bobby to help me, but what if Bobby busy or gone and I need to move the tractor? So we made it light enough, which was the PVC and hardware cloth, big enough to keep 50 chickens in, but light enough to be able to maneuver around the yard, because they fertilize in your yard, they feeding themselves because they scratch and get grubs, and they take care of themselves out there. But you got to make it so it works for you and know how much money you want to spend.
Yeah, have enough property to where you can move them, because chicken poop is hot, right? So it's going to kill the grass right there where they at. You're going to have to move it to another location and keep on doing it. But as it breaks down, your grass will grow back, and it'll grow back pretty. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So Rail say, I'm terrified of bugs and animals. So I am too. I'm not even gonna say I'm over being terrified of bugs, because I still see a net in the car and I'm freaking out trying to get them out, or mosquito, any kind of bug. But if I see a lizard, let me tell you, don't let me see a snake. My day is over. I'm in the house for the rest of the day if I see a snake. Lizards freak me out, but I have to constantly ask God to hold my hand and help me get through this, because it is so important for us to learn how to grow and raise our own food. It's so easy once you get past that I'm terrified stage. But I know it's when you've been 40, 50 years of being terrified, it is not easy. But you can get through it. Just take baby steps. Go out there and walk around for a few minutes, and then come on back in. And once you see that, okay, I'm a little comfortable with that, you can go a step further. Grow something in a pot and start teaching yourself to dig and play in this dirt so that you can learn to grow your own food.
So I saw a question: how do you get rid of the bugs off your plants? All right. First of all, make sure that you are growing a really healthy plant. That means making sure your soil is nutrient dense, got all the minerals in it that it needs. Most time bugs don't like eating healthy plants. They want to eat weak plants, right? So after you've done that, you want to do it naturally. You want to use diatomaceous earth or neem oil or both. Right. So get you a bag of diatomaceous earth, not real expensive at all, and dust your plants. Keep them dusted. What that does is the plants, the bugs can't take it. It gets into their skin. It will irritate them, suck all the water out of their body, and they will end up dying. Neem oil is also good for your plants for natural growth. All right. So if you use those two, you know, if you're watering your plants overhead, you have to use it regularly. If you got if you got underground water system, then you could just dust your plants. As long as it ain't raining, it should be good.
Neem oil. He's saying neem oil and diatomaceous earth, food grade DE.
DE.
Uh-oh.
Let's try it. Let's see what it is.
Why you playing with that? No.
What?
Bobby feel like playing. I just saw a question. So so I look at it like this. I know you say, can y'all still hear me? Sure. Okay. So the way I look at things is when I ask God to help me with something such as bugs, because that's what we keep talking about, the bugs. When I ask God to help me with this fear of bugs, and then I go outside and it's like every bug in the world is coming at me. I say in my head, that ain't nothing but the devil. But then I'll say little stuff like, oh, that's just God trying to show me that I'm okay. So just go ahead and push through. You know, you see more bugs and it's like, it's okay. God got me. Just keep it moving. You know, kind of turn your head. Kind of turn your head to it. I can't just ignore the fact that they there. But long as they stay away from me, I'm usually okay. So just know that sometimes that's God showing us how strong we really are, because you might be thinking, oh no, I can't do this with these bugs. And he keep putting these bugs there for you. He's just showing you your strength. That yeah, you got this. Come on, let's do this. I'm holding your hand. So just keep it moving and know that it's gonna be all right. And I told Bobby one time, in my mind, when I see a snake, I think it's gonna grow this big and eat me. But I've learned that it ain't.
Lizards. She think they're gators or something.
I don't know what I think they are, but let me tell you, I can run now. I don't know if I can outrun them though.
So Serena said that I'm dealing with borderline high blood pressure, and my husband has cholesterol. The doctor said that he's also pre-diabetic. So we need to do better.
It's all about diet. Yeah, it's all about diet with both of y'all. I would definitely be careful when it comes to seasonings, because I know we ain't eating bland meat. If you get a good grade of meat, like if you find a local butcher and you get a good grade of meat, you ain't gonna want to season it the way we have to season store-bought meat. We have to heavily season store-bought meat to make it taste decent. When we get our meat from hunter cattle, we use very little seasoning on our meats because it tastes so good.
And the fact that we're using good seasoning matter too.
So, and you gotta use a good seasoning. You can't just Morton's and slap your mamas in them. They ain't gonna cut it. That's gonna mess your blood pressure up. That's gonna mess you up, period, over time. Little bit mess you up. You be thinking, oh, I'm just gonna cut back on my seasoning. You gotta change your seasonings. We use Redmond real salt seasonings, or you grow your own. If you growing basil and oregano and all, those are all your seasonings. All you need is a little bit of Redmond real salt mixed. You can powder those seasonings, mix you some salt with it. You got your own seasoning.
So if you're new to the channel, you didn't hear this. Put a poison in our seasoning. The poison is designed to keep the seasoning separated so it don't all cake together.
Yeah, silicone
non-caking agent.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see non-caking agent. Yeah. Sometimes you'll see silicone dioxide, and then in parentheses too. You'll see in parentheses non-caking agent. So I say if you can't read the ingredients or you don't understand them when you see them, don't even get it.
Yeah. So they play word games and they put names on there that we are not familiar with. It will take for you to sit there and Google each one of those names that's on the back of one of these packets, just so you can actually have an idea. It will generally tell you when you look at the definition of them that they are in certain doses poisonous.
Yeah.
But they allowed to put that into our food.
Yeah, and they'll tell you what they use it for, like the silicon dioxide is used to make batteries. Meanwhile, we can consume a certain amount of it safely. Again, we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and some people eat 2-3 meals in between or snacks in between. And we constantly using seasonings because we need our food to taste like something. So when do we exceed the moderation part of the battery acid we can use or consume without tearing up our body? They don't tell you how much. They just say moderation is safe. So this is why we have to make our own seasonings or make sure you get them from a trusted source. And somebody like Redmond, they sell a seasoning a little bit, go a long way.
Yeah, so we have done the research, guys. I would tell you, just to be safe, to throw away all your seasonings, go to Redmond's site and buy everything you need. If you buy a big bag of salt, you won't buy another bag of salt for a very, very long time.
Unless
because
you like
the amount of salt that you need to use is minute.
Unless you
because they got 60 plus minerals in it and they got taste to them. So unlike a purely sodium based salt, it has all the micronutrients that your body needs.
Naturally.
And all of them has taste.
Yeah.
So when you put some on your food, it's giving you a burst of flavor.
Yeah.
And you don't need to douse it with a whole bunch.
Yeah, you only need a little bit. And this is natural. The thing about Redmonds is they don't leach anything from their salt and they don't add anything to it. And most companies, go ahead.
You may ask why. You know, how we know. We've been there. We saw the process. We watched how they make their salt, which all they do is mine it.
Yeah, and they show you, they have videos online where they constantly taking you in the mines to see how they process or how they collecting the salt and what they got going on. This company, like, we love finding companies that don't have anything. Yeah. They don't have anything. You can call and talk to them, and they gonna talk to you.
We have done the work for y'all. Yeah. You know, I don't care whether they will, back our channel, give us anything if it's a good company. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and we're doing the work, we're doing the research, we're checking in, we're making sure that they're being what they say they are, then we'll talk about them because this is about benefiting the community. And anything that we can talk about that's going to actually help the majority of people, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, so you can get a fine, Redmonds does somebody said it's a grit texture that they don't care for. There's a fine powder salt. You can get it in different textures. I think it's like 3 or 4 different textures of how they grind it.
All of them. Anything you want, any way you want it, they can do it.
So somebody said, I saw a video from you guys for the first time last night about castor oil. I put organic castor oil in my navel and on my back last night. And this morning, my back feels a lot better. That ain't nothing but God. God sent you to that video so you can help yourself. I always tell people, people thank us all the time. Thank God. We don't heal you. You are healing yourself. All we do is share the information. We talk about it a lot over and over again because it's simple and it's so effective. But a lot of people are just like, I don't know about that. But eventually, and I tell people, I know it sounds weird to drop castor oil in your navel, and it's like, my loved one will think I'm crazy. Don't tell them. Try it. Because when you wake up in the morning or in a few mornings, you're going to be like, let me tell y'all what I've been doing. Because they're going to look outside and see you out there stooping down in the yard or bent over or walking upstairs. And they're going to be like, wait a minute. She did this or he did this in 10, 15 years. But once you start feeling better, you start come back to your new norm. And your family is just like, what are you doing? And when you say, I put castor oil in my navel.
And a lot of things that, we say all the time, you want cold press, hexene free castor oil. A lot of people don't know why. They don't know what that is, what that means. That is the way that they process the castor oil from the bean. All right, so hexene is a chemical that they will use that's not good for you to take the cholesterol out of the castor beans. So when we say cold press, that means that that thing has been pressed and the oil came out. It didn't use no hexene to draw the oils from the seeds. So you want cold press hexene free so you don't get none of this crap along with your castor oil. All castor oil is not created equal. So the way it's made matters. If it don't say hexene free, that means it is hexene. Yeah. So make sure you are getting a good one. We use Heritage. We're not related with them at all. We just use them and they seem to be a good castor oil. If we find a better one or some different ones, we'll talk about them also. But that's what we found. It worked, and that's what we stuck with. So, that's what you wanna do when it comes to get any product. You want to do the research. Make sure what they say is what it is.
So for arthritis, we use our pain away oil. Pain away oil has helped us tremendously when it comes to arthritis. And you can find that at our website. I think it's scrolling at the top, blacktropical.com. It's a really good product for arthritis, fibromyalgia, if you just have a sprain, a migraine, tinnitus, vertigo. My cousin broke her toe. So many issues you could be dealing with, and that can help. What was that, Friday? My cousin broke her toe Friday. You know how it is. You walking through the house, y'all. We done all stomped our toe before, and you think every time you stomp your toe, you be thinking, "Oh my God, I know I just broke my toe." And she said, "I was like, oh." She said, "I screamed so loud, I know my neighbors was like, what in the world?" She said, "But I put my shoe on. I went on to work, and then I could not walk. Couldn't get my shoe off." Finally, the nurse came and looked at her and said, "Yeah, your toe is broken." She said, "But it's nothing they can do. They won't put you in a cast. They can't reset it. It was the baby toe." So I went with comfrey and pain away. And within a few minutes, she was up and walking and feeling so good. So yesterday, when I went and saw her yesterday, she was doing so much better. So it can help with so many issues.
So Teresa made a good point. Red mints also have salt for animals. So guys, now this was the first time I actually heard this is when I went to Red Mints and we had this conversation. Salt is vital for life.
Yep.
So regardless of whether they tell you need to cut back on the salt, you need to cut back on the bad salt. You need to cut back on the salt that has the non-cakeinated. They're not telling you that's the reason. The salt that you're buying at the store has been stripped of all its nutrients. All it is sodium. They tried to add iodine to it, but the iodine that they add to it is not able to be taken up in your body. So it's for nothing. So if you think you're buying a table salt with iodine, no, because they strip all the iodine out of your original salt, and then they try to add a synthetic iodine in it, which your body don't accept.
Yeah,
so it just it just passes through. It's not gonna give you iodine. So that's one. But what he said was salt was vital for life. At one point, salt sold ounce for ounce with gold. That's how important it was to get a nice, good salt. So when you when you think of it like that, animals. All right. So when you actually feed your animals that salt, a good salt, with all the nutrients in it, what it's going to do is allow your animals to grow bigger and stronger. So I think they say there was about a 25% difference in the size that your animals get, which is very important if you raise something like livestock or like, well, you can get to pretty much anything but your cows, your pigs, your chickens, whatever. Adding some of that salt that's got everything in it will greatly increase the way their body is produced. They will get bigger, they will get stronger, so you actually have more when it comes to meat. Sprinkle a little bit in your dog food. make sure that all your animals are getting what they need. On top of that, they also produce uh, salt for your garden. Now, that is really, really important because they got those 60 plus minerals in it, right? So those 60 plus minerals, if it's in your soil, your plant will then uptake all those nutrients. And then that's going to make your plant bigger and stronger. So that's one of the things that we're not talking about a lot is how important these salts are for our body. We have been told, indoctrinated, made to believe some of the things that we're doing is what it's supposed to be. Now, if we know all the fruits, the vegetables, the milk, all our food groups are different now than what it was when we were little, how can it still be good? I mean, we're not eating uh, regular fruits and vegetables. We're using, modified fruits and vegetables. We're using way more chemicals in our wheats and grains and cereal and all that stuff here. All that stuff is different. If you're old enough, you didn't even come up on the same wheat that we have in right now. You was eating ancient grains back then. Now, since they have created this new wheat in a lab that can grow faster, can grow more, and grow stronger, that is totally bad for our body. Our body do not know how to process. That's when we start getting all this inflammation in our body. If you got inflammation in your body, you think you did everything that you could to get rid of it. It's because of the wheat.
Change your diet.
Mm-hmm. All this stuff. All the time. Blood pressure, all that stuff.
Yeah, like somebody asked me a few weeks ago, their baby got eczema real bad. She said it is driving him crazy and driving me crazy. She said, "What can I do?" I said, "Do he eat table food yet?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Do he eat bread?" A lot. I said, "Stop the wheat, no wheat at all, and see what he do." It totally changed his life. So now I said, it's ancient grains. If you want to incorporate some type of wheat in his, try ancient grains and see how he is with that. And he is perfectly fine with the ancient grains. But she said he loved bread. We do that to these babies. They don't know nothing about bread. We start giving it to them and they like, "Oh, I like that taste." But she said them ancient grains, she was like, he loved muffins and bread. Absolutely loved it now. She said, but his skin isn't reacting the same. So it's all about diet.
So guys, you could do yourself a great deal of benefit if you actually switch all the stuff that we're talking about. But what's more important is that you talk to your kids, you raise your kids on better food. Because at one point we started off with better food. So therefore we went a long time in life without getting sick, and as years went on, the foods got worse and our body got older. And now we're suffering from it. But think about, your kids are being started off with this crap. They're being started off with the worst food, all the poisonous chemicals. Because, when it comes down to it, it's all about money. They don't care about us, guys, like that. They don't. They care about their bottom line.
And they can't make money off us if they keep us healthy.
And if they don't keep us coming back. So putting addictive things into your food that make you crave them is part of the whole thing.
Yeah, your body will do exactly what it's supposed to. Well, one thing about God, he created us in perfect form. If we learn to eat and treat our body the way we're supposed to, and it's hard to stay away from synthetics 100%, but do the best you can, you'll see your body changing for the better. Like, we have changed the way we eat and move now, and our bodies are responding to it. Your body will naturally respond to it. If you're supposed to lose weight, change the way you eat. Change your lifestyle. You're gonna lose weight. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, any kind of skin issue, whatever you have going on, you will feel your body starting to change. Somebody asked about eyesight, and I'm gonna show y'all this because somebody did ask about Redmond seasoning. This is the seasoned salt. We get the big one. They have taco seasoning, which I make my own, but theirs is nice and clean too. They have what is this? Garlic pepper, which I love because you crack in your own garlic and pepper. It's in a cracker.
That's amazing.
They have smoked salts. They got a bunch of different seasonings. This is all Redmond products. And of course, we always talk about their Relight. When you come to events that we are at, you'll probably get a dose of Redmond Relight, which is hydration. We have to stay hydrated. So I'm gonna let Bobby talk about vision right quick. Somebody said, what can you do for vision with diabetes?
Yeah, I saw Mary say that. But guys, if you're going to get some Redmonds, if you use our link, it's a 15% off, right? So I would say replace your whole cabinet. It's crazy. When you talk about the taste, these taste amazing. Like you're not gonna find a better taste. And to know that you're actually doing better for you and your family is a game changer. All right. I'm not saying this just because we are affiliated with them, and we are happy to be, but it's because it is absolutely true.
And organic wheat pasta is bad for you. Sorry. I know that we think, oh, I'm gonna buy wheat and it's organic, so let me get that. It's actually worse than buying regular pasta. You might as well buy regular pasta, which is bad for you. But organic wheat pasta is worse. Go ahead, I explain that.
Yeah, guys, y'all got to be careful. Be careful with the wordplay. All right, just because say something on a package, not necessarily what it is. It's not necessarily mean that it's good. All right. So before I found out I had high blood pressure, I realized my eyesight was getting weaker. Of course, I attribute it to me getting older. I'm like, well, I'm getting old. My eyes, I need more light to be able to see something. Now, I think I might need reading glasses. All of a sudden, I'm sitting there like, this is crazy. Because all my life, I never wore glasses.
You was walking around all day with glasses on.
Yeah. No, I couldn't see. I only could see good writing.
But you were walking around with glasses on. Because you would show up at live, and I'm like, you just came down the hall with these glasses on.
Because I couldn't read the screen or my phone. But, it was crazy because what you will think that is just normal, getting older or living, that's causing your problems is absolutely an issue that's going on. And the crazy thing is we've been living our lives the same way. And because nothing has really popped out at us, we don't think nothing wrong. So if I'm not doing anything different and things are changing, that might just be the process of life. Well, I'm here to tell you, once I got my blood sugar under control, my eyesight returned. I do not need glasses. I don't have to I can read whatever. I always had 20/20. I'm close to that, if not that, now. So if you're having blood sugar problems, or if you're having problems seeing, that could be the reason. You might need to go get your blood sugar checked. All right. I started losing weight. And the only reason you're going to see it on me the way, and you might not see it on you, is because I had a whole lot of muscle. Well, what diabetes did, it would not allow my muscles to grow, and they started shrinking. So that's when we still going to the gym. Of course, I'm thinking, okay, I reached that age, my body is just not going to do, and, I have to just accept that. Well, when I got my blood sugar back in check, I was able to build my muscle up. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing at my age, because I'm going to tell you, weight is weight. All right. So whether it's fat, whether it's muscle, it still requires your heart to be able to pump that blood through your body. So the more mass you got, the harder your heart has to work. Well, because I've been working out so long and I had gained so much muscle, once it went down, once my weight went down and my body got back in check, it just automatically started growing again because now I'm doing the same thing I was doing before I had the blood sugar problem. Now my body's trying to return back to what it was. Well, I need to be smaller because I'm older. So it's going to require my body, my heart to work harder to pump all that blood around me. And my heart is not as young as it used to be.
That's the thing. We got to pay attention to ourselves. We got to listen. Our body talk to us all the time. Like I've been wearing glasses forever. I can't see. I don't care if it's in my face or I need my glasses. I need my glasses to find my glasses. So when I take my glasses off, I got to put them in the same place. Well, recently, when I'm looking at my phone, I can't see with my glasses on. And so I take my glasses off. But if I'm looking at the TV, I need my glasses. And I'm like, why can't I see? Something is wrong. Why I can't see with my glasses on? I cannot see my phone. But if I take my glasses off, I can see. My eye doctor said, well, what are you doing? Because that your eyesight is improving. If you can see, because you couldn't see close up without your glasses. So it's just, I've just changed my lifestyle. And it can totally save your life, but you have to pay attention to what's going on with me is what, and ask questions because we don't know everything. We are constantly learning. We're gonna go back and talk about the wheat right quick because I think that is very important about our glycemic index chart and things that can help us all, not especially diabetic. And if you have cholesterol problems, you want to also keep in mind the wheat. Your wheat is what you need to cut back on if you have cholesterol issues. You want to make sure you are consuming an ancient grain if you have cholesterol issues. It's 9 times out of 10 the wheat that you are consuming. When it comes to wheat, now, and I'm going to talk about this because somebody said, "Oh, I thought buying organic wheat pasta was a better choice." We do think that because the first thing you think when you eat a lot of white bread, what is it? Wonder bread is what we grew up on. You eat a lot of Wonder bread, or you get Nature's Own regular bread, and then the doctor say, "Oh, you have this issue," and you say, "Okay, let me stop eating white bread." So you go to wheat bread, whether it's brown, honey wheat, some kind of wheat, and then you say, "Well, I'm gonna get wheat pasta because that's better for me also."
Yeah, Auntie.
So, I can see it. Hey, Auntie. When it comes to wheat, I'm gonna look at my notes to make sure I give you the correct number. When it comes, let's start with sugar. Because people say, "Oh, you gotta leave that sugar alone." Sugar is not our worst enemy, honestly.
Since we stopped working on TV.
Sugar is not our worst enemy, honestly. When it comes to the glycemic index chart, and we need to stay 55 and below, I say 75% of your food should be 55 and below on glycemic index chart. And you can spend the day researching everything you eat. Where does banana sit on the glycemic index chart? Where does oatmeal sit on the glycemic index chart? Just Google. What is whatever you eat? What is a hamburger or ground beef on the glycemic index chart? What is white bread on the glycemic index chart? So sugar, and I'm talking just regular white granulated sugar. Sugar sit at 59 on the glycemic index chart. Remember, we should stay below 55. 59 ain't terrible. It is above 55, but it's not terrible. So 59 on the glycemic index chart is where our white sugar sits. We use turbinado sugar, which is less processed. It still got a lot of the molasses in it. You can smell it, you can taste it. It's a better choice. It's not good because it's sugar, but it's a better choice than sugar. So white sugar sit at 59 on the glycemic index chart. Again, above 55, but not too high above 55. Well, white bread, what a lot of people consume white bread. White bread sit at 69 on the glycemic index chart, which is 10 points higher than sugar. 69, we should be below 55. White bread sit at 69 on the glycemic index chart. That is just regular white wheat, regular crackers, and don't let it say enriched. Enriched is worse than just regular white bread or white flour. So that's our pasta, rice, all that stuff. 69 on the glycemic index chart. But then there's wheat, which most of us will say, well, let me eat wheat because wheat is better for me than white flour. So let me switch over to wheat flour. It's healthier. Wheat sit at 72 on the glycemic index chart.
Anything above 55.
Anything above 55 is bad. We are at 72 with whole wheat, meaning whole wheat is worse than white. That's why I said you might as well just get you some regular pasta. It's definitely worse than sugar. Do your own research. It is there. I ain't making these numbers up. I didn't create these numbers. But spend today looking at the glycemic index chart and things that you are consuming. When you get below 55 or stay around 55, Bobby eat a lot of berries. He don't eat bread anymore. And when he do, it's in moderation, like very, very little. He has been very good. I say all the time, Bobby has been really, really good about what he consuming. He don't even consume a lot of sweet potatoes anymore. Maybe one every 2 weeks or so. A whole lot of meat. I'm making taco. I'm making taco soup today. So the meat and the beans he can consume that is good because both sit low on the glycemic index chart. But you just have to learn how to feed myself and what's going to agree with my body because no two people are the same. So you got to figure out what your body like and don't and dislike and lean more towards that. But it's definitely easy to look at the glycemic index chart and see what should I be eating. When it comes to fruit, Bobby loves fruit. So cherries and grapes, grapefruit, beans, stuff like that. You know, we try to keep around strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. We grow all this stuff, but that is something he can indulge in versus the bananas and mangoes and all this other stuff. He can eat all the guava he wants. So you just got to keep in mind that
and everything else is really in moderation. But if you know you got a problem with it, don't even dabble with it. You know, I'm one of those people. You know, if I set my mind to I got to do something, I got to get something done. You know, I'm not going to let my inability to not have willpower to stop me doing what I need to do. I will fight through it until it's no longer a fight. You know, generally, if you actually have an issue, if you can get through the initial struggle of it, you can get through the rest of it. So get yourself through the initial struggle, and then your body will just allow you to, will help you fight the rest of it. Now, it's going to be up to you if you let your mind tell you to go and eat something that you got a problem with.
Yeah, I be fighting my mind. Like the other day, even the other day in the store, I was saying, I want a Snickers. I want some potatoes. I want this. And then I would walk down the aisle and I'm like, I don't want that. Hey, what's the purpose of getting it? You ain't gonna eat that. But my mind kept saying, yeah, you want this. For real, you don't want it. So once you get yourself in that habit of I don't want or I don't need or it ain't good for me, it'll be regular. Gluten. So when it comes to ancient grains, the gluten is different. There's a difference in God's grain and man-made grain. So this is where we come in play with these gluten issues. And people say, oh, I need gluten-free. No, you really don't need gluten-free. It's the man-made. It's not the product. It's the process. So if you get an ancient grain, you will notice that the gluten isn't even the issue. Now there's a man-made gluten. There's a God's made gluten. So the ancient grain got a certain amount of gluten in it. It's not the same gluten as the modern flour that we are used to. And it's not as much gluten. It's just what God intended for us to have. So if you use ancient grains to make bread or something, you'll see that it don't rise nice and big and pretty like modern flour wheat do. But it is so good, and your body, your stomach will say, oh, I know what this is, and I know what to do with it. Versus the modern flour, your body is saying, wait a minute, I don't know what to do with that. That might not be good for me, so it's throwing it away. It's turning into sugar
and it's causing inflammation
Yep.
and diabetes and all that good stuff.
And potatoes is my weakness. Now Bobby, he prefer a sweet potato. I prefer white. I'm a potato baby. Always say that's why I'm so fluffy, because I will eat potatoes over anything. But everything in moderation. You know, once you get that moderation down and eat your portion size or eat half of your portion size. I like the fact that my bonus daughter, Bobby Baby, said the other day, she said, I don't eat the last bite anymore. I've learned to stop. Instead of feeling like I got to eat everything on my plate, she said, that last bite, I say, nope, I'm done. That's enough. She said, and that has helped me a lot. So just cut back in portion size with your potato, rather versus the normal size you used to eat. That way you can get used to not having so much. Just cut back some.
So somebody said, wait, guava is not healthy. Good for you. Well, the thing is, guys,
guava is
not guava, but they were saying what it was, mango. No. Things that's high in sugar. Now, if you don't have no problem with sugar, which you can eat this stuff no problem. But if you do, you can eat it in moderation.
But the problem with sugar can be not just diabetes, but inflammation, mucus. So
the arthritis and all that stuff. The more sugar you eat, the more inflammation, the more aches and pains you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So you want to cut back on that, but you can't eat fruit, guys. Yes. You just can't indulge in them. So people got these diets where they're fruitarians, and I don't understand it at all.
But they probably ain't healthy at all.
Yeah.
But they won't. And that's the thing with social media. People will say, "Oh, I had this issue, and then I started eating all fruit, and now I'm perfectly healthy."
There's no way that can be. The way people look at fruit and the sugars in fruit different than they do the sweeteners outside of fruit, and they still do the same thing to your body. They spike your insulin. So eating too much of that is not a good thing. Now, I'll tell everybody, do your own research. Do not jump on any kind of fad. Don't jump on vegetarian. Don't jump on carnivore. Don't jump on fruitarian, I think that's what it's called, unless you did your research. Yeah, because the thing is, guys, people think because one person said something or they did something and got a certain result that their body is going to respond the same way, and that's not how that works. If you actually look at science and you look at common sense things, if our body, there's no animal out there that wasn't designed to eat meat, that can eat meat. Their body won't be able to break down the proteins. Our body can break down the proteins. So therefore, we were designed to eat meat. I'm going to say this again. We are predators. Our eyes are in the front of our heads. This is for depth perception. This is so we can see how far the animal is so we can hunt it. All, if not most, if not all animals that's designed to eat only vegetables, eyes are on the side of their head. And the eyes on the side of their head so they can look for predators. They can see all around them, so if something trying to sneak up on them to get them, they can get them. They are constantly looking down so they can eat grass, but they still need to see their predators. It's coming. So there's nothing about the way we are made that tells you that we're not supposed to eat meat. Now, that's my thoughts on it. If you're a vegetarian and you're a diehard vegetarian, eat your vegetables. I have no problem with that. But don't demonize people who don't.
Yeah, and if you get sick, if you are vegetarian and you always find yourself sick,
and a lot of vegetarians say they do.
Look at what you eat. Mm-hmm. Look at what you eat. It could very well be your diet with just vegetables and no sugar and no animal products. Just sometimes you got to stop and check yourself. Pescatarian, yeah, eat the meat. The man is cooking meat. But you got to pay attention to yourself and know what's for me and what ain't working for me. Sometimes you just need to change your diet. And not all meat, again, is created equal. So some people say, oh, I can't stand to eat this, or I can't stand to eat beef, or I can't stand to eat that. It probably ain't the beef itself. It's probably the process. So if you go get you some clean meat that's being raised right, not off corn and, not being abused in some little bitty bathroom or wherever you got them, they got them. Long as you get you some good quality meat, you'll probably be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, we had this conversation. We had people that say they could not eat beef, but once they got 100% grass-fed beef, their body reacts amazing to it. So you can't take a beef that's being fed corn or grains, that bad stuff that we were talking about, because it's been sprayed and all that. Everything the animal eat is in their meat, and if you consume the meat, you get it too. So they've been given shots so they don't get sick. They got all these problems, and they eating unhealthy foods. Then you eat them. Of course, your body is going to act different. And people think because one person didn't get the effect that they did, it's not the food. All our bodies will respond different. My body may be really sensitive to the way this food is made, and somebody else's body may not. So I'm gonna get these outward effects of what this food is doing to me. That don't mean that the other person ain't getting no effects. They effects just not outward, so they don't notice them. Mine just happen automatically, just like the gluten. Some people eating bread and they are not having these outward effects. They're not having this gluten intolerance. They're not having terrible inflammation. Well, are they having some? Most definitely.
Even if it's just in the brain, the eyes, blood, when it's somewhere, and you may not feel it at first. Eat Right for Your Blood Type. I have been reading that book. That is a really good book. That is a really good book. But for ancient grains,
and remember, guys, we're having this. If you're on, listen to us now, guys, give us a reaction. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. At Facebook, go ahead and like. And if you're just coming to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Follow the channel, because we're going to have these conversations. We want to make sure everybody that want to know knows this information, because we don't need to all be left in the dark.
So this is ancient grains. This is cortisone, but they have different grains. We use mainly einkorn. We have kamut, we got spelt, we got rye. What else we got? We got about 6 different types of ancient grains. I just dropped.
And a lot of people have been asking about our meal. So we got our meal from what's the name of
Nutrigrain.
Nutrigrain. So we do have a link for Nutrigrain. If you want to go check out the meal, you can get the one that we got, or you can get a different one. They have less expensive ones, but we buy our wheat mainly in berries, because we want all the freshness to still be in our wheat when we use them. So if you build your wheat right as you use them, they have the most nutrients in them possible.
And we don't get it from Azure. We get it directly from the company. See somebody asking if we use Azure Standard. We get our grains directly from Grand Teton because it's fresh. If you get it from Azure Standard or Amazon,
I know Amazon do.
I mean, go ahead.
No, I know Amazon got they sell Grand Teton.
Yeah, somebody was asking, do we get that from Grand Teton? I mean, from Azure Standard. We get it directly from the company because it's fresh. When you get it from anywhere, it could be the grocery store up the street, Azure Standard, Amazon. It could have been sitting on their shelf for a year or 2 or 5. When you get it from Grand Teton directly through the company, it's a possibility that they just milled and packaged your wheat yesterday and shipped it off tomorrow.
So when we did talk to the owner, he said that's that's the way they'll do it. You know, if you order it, they'll bag it and ship it right off to you.
So
that means it just got it.
Yeah. So and that was important to us too.
Yeah. But the most important part, guys, regenerative growing, regenerative gardening. If you don't know what that is, that means they take what they grow, break it down, put it back into the soil, and use that as nutrients to grow the next year's crop. No chemical fertilizers, no sprays at all. So, to me, that's amazing. Companies like this need to shine, just like Hunter need to shine, just like Redmond's need to shine. You won't hear us talking about a company that we don't believe in, that we don't think doing amazing things for the community, because we are not talking about them and they're not being pushed as much as these companies that's doing the worst thing for us, that don't care about us.
Yeah, they just want money.
They want the bottom line to look a certain.
So Grand Teton is the ancient grain. So it says shop ancient grains at ancientgrain.com. That is Grand Teton.
That's Grand Teton.
Yeah. So, and I think, well, anyway, yeah, I just dropped the link to that.
So
I'm not sure if y'all asking for the Grand Teton or eyesight. Eyesight is blacktropical.com, which I think is scrolling at the top, but I'll drop that too.
So that's one thing we didn't talk about is our website. We sell amazing natural products. They work amazingly. And we're so proud of it. And it's been doing really well thanks to you all. Things have been selling out like crazy. Y'all keep us working, which is a blessing, because anything that we can do or we can get from doing what we do allows us to spend more time doing what we do, which is pretty much spreading the word on the best way to take care of ourselves. We do the research, we look around, we make sure what we are saying has some validity to it, and then we pass it on. So you can go ahead and look into it yourself. And the goal is to have the conversations. We can have the conversations, we can make people way better. Our products have done amazing things to improve the quality of lives. We get we have the conversations all the time. People send us messages telling us how amazing some of this stuff has been to them. And it's just based off of us doing the research and putting a formula together that works. And it all started by accident. We decided we was going to just do some things just for us. And when it worked so well for us, we tried it on friends and family, and everybody was amazed. And then we made it available to the public. We didn't think we was. We had no idea before we did it that we were going to do it. But it happened. And that's the way God works, guys. You put yourself in position and things will just fall into place. And it's so crazy because we had no idea that none of this was. Did we know that y'all was going to be in here listening to us today? No. When we first started YouTube, where we didn't think nothing of it. Maybe our family or friends may listen or see us, and that was going to be good. Then after a while, we started doing something. And I'm like, we need to make sure we are valued to the people that's going to be listening to us. There's enough crap out there. If you want to be entertained, if you want to be volatile, you want to hear a bunch of mess, it's out there. But that's not what we're going to be. We're going to be a couple that come together that's going to talk to the people that want to listen and try to add value to their life, because those are the kind of people that we want to be somebody who adds to people's lives, not subtract. So this is where we are. It's been a great journey. So I saw somebody say something about sciatica. Guys, pain away oil is amazing for sciatica. If you're having problems with arthritis, pain away is amazing. Vertigo, pain away is amazing. I mean, so many other things. We had people come to our booth here last week, and we allowed everybody to try it. The great thing about pain away oil is the results are almost instant. You're gonna feel it, at least 5 minutes after you use it. And we love that because people tend to want to have the results. We had people rub their hands down that had arthritis, had problems, and walked away, came right back. They were like, oh, yeah, I can do this now. And we had, a gentleman that came up. He said, I have these bad tension headaches. He's like, he said, just bad, and he had a serious look on his face. And I was like, you want to come back in and sit down? And our assistant, rubbed his shoulders a little bit and put a little bit on his temple. And he walked away with a couple bottles, because that's just how amazing it is. And this stuff is all natural, guys. It's God's medicine. And that's just stuff that we have not been privy to because nobody will talk about it. So when you talk about synthetics, people think that it's all something that people created. What they did was they found a plant that actually worked correctly, the way they wanted it to, that did certain things. And then they tried to synthetically duplicate what those effects was. And that's where all your medicines come from, guys. They came from plants. A lot of us don't know that. I didn't know. Like anything that you see them trying to create, there's a plant or herb out there that actually does what they're trying to do. And they try to copy it with the synthetics. Well, the problem with the synthetics is they got side effects. You have to swallow them things. They have to break down in your body, and then they have to do what they do. Now, they don't fix nothing, and they create other problems. So it may pacify a problem, but then they create other problems. And now you got to take medication for those other problems. And what people don't realize when you take those pills, guys, you're tearing up your insides. And because they don't do it instantly, people don't know that it does it.
So for vertigo, somebody asked for vertigo, where do you apply the pain away? So we had a young lady, she had a vertigo spell last year when we were out of town. And what I did was, she said her shoulder was hurt. So I rubbed her shoulder down and I rubbed up the back of her neck and around her ear to see if it would help with her vertigo. Our assistant helped her back to her room the next morning. She said that she had amazing results from the pain away. And even with her vertigo, she said, my vertigo calmed down to the point where I could sleep and I wasn't sick and had to go to the hospital. And that was the first time she ever had that. So what she's been doing is putting pain away around the ears and you can drop a little drop in your ear. It'll help with that inflammation and fluid buildup in your ear.
Definitely. Thank you for the stars.
Yeah, for some reason I can't see stars or super chat on my side, so thank you.
And I'm on Facebook and I can't see YouTube. So anybody who donated to the channel, we definitely appreciate you. We will look back and we will thank you publicly in the chats, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Yeah, it definitely will help with that arthritis in the shoulder. Anywhere you have arthritis or any type of pain, sciatic issues, neuropathy issues, it'll definitely help with that. So for stage 4 cancer, soursop leaves are very important for stage 4 cancer. Definitely do your research in that because you want everything in moderation. I would stay away from the fruit, soursop fruit, especially with stage 4 cancer because of the high sugar content. Most people just say, oh, soursop, this, that, and the third. You want to cut out sugar, carbs, for your husband. You want to be careful what he is consuming. Now, when it comes to cancer, we want to combat things like parasites. So you want to look into something like ivermectin so that it can help you with parasites. I don't go in deep details about this parasite cleanse because A lot of people don't want you to talk about it, but definitely do your research in ivermectin and flubenazole. That can help you tremendously. Again, you got to clean up your diet. You have to do your research to see your dosing, his dosing, your dosing, because it is a great protocol. But when it comes to cancer, 9 times out of 10, it is the parasites that's causing the issue. If you can cut off the blood supply to the parasite, you will see life begin to turn around. We had a friend that totally did that. They called it stage 5 cancer, and today he is thriving. And we can't thank God enough for the changes that we see in him just in 9-10 weeks. So
Beverly, Brother Johnson, thank you for the testimony. I took pain away oil and magnesium cream with me on my.
She went on cruise. I was watching.
I used it on my entire vacation to Puerto Rico and St. Thomas, and I had no pain, and I was able to walk and keep up with the group at 72 years old.
Hey, God is good. I've been watching. I see you over on Facebook, and I was like, oh, she all over the place. I want to be on the beach too. And I did ship your other package off last week because I knew you were coming back home. So I went on and put that in the mail. But thank you so much for the testimony. If you have used our products, definitely leave us a review so others, that way we'll know how our products are doing, and others can and it'll help others.
Yeah, we sell some amazing things. We don't talk about all of them every time we go live, but when we do talk about them, guys, if you have already purchased, and a lot of you have, leave a comment, because that comment will help other people realize what it can do. That testimony and testimonies like that has been amazing, because what we want is the quality of life, right? We don't want to just exist. We want to be able to thrive, right? We want to be able to live life, So why be alive if you can't get around? You can't move, you can't, because you in so much pain.
Yeah, it's a difference in existing and living.
That's right. And you wanna live, guys. And we have heard so many stories just like that, where people are actually able to enjoy life because of the products that we have put forth. And people, relationships have been better because of things of like I am free. When we get these hormone imbalances, our life just kind of goes wherever, depending on where our hormones go. Our body just reacts. And a lot of this stuff is because of the chemicals that we have put in our body, guys. Our bodies just react to it. We start growing hair where it's not supposed to be, losing hair where we're not supposed to, all kind of issues, guys. Anything that comes from your hormones being thrown off, these bad attitudes, these real bad mood swings, these hot flashes, all that stuff comes from your hormones being thrown off. And that yam cream is amazing because it's all natural. That means it's going to work on the problem and it's not going to create another. That's the main thing about using natural stuff is you not create issues while trying to pacify, because those synthetics don't fix anything. All they do is pacify. When you take a pain med, you're not fixing the pain. What you're doing is blocking pain receptors in your brain that's telling you that you don't have the pain. But everything that caused the pain is still there. While taking something like a pain away all natural, putting it on the source of the pain, is absorbing through and actually reducing the inflammation wherever you put it and stopping it from squeezing those nerves, which then takes away the pain. And if the inflammation is going down, that means you can move that body more freely. So if you put it on your hands, you got arthritis. That means when the inflammation go down, you could then use that on your knees, or your elbows, any part of your body that you having problems with inflammation. A lot of times we have accidents, we have injuries, and we are still hurting years later. That's because you got inflammation. The arthritis will build up right there where you had that old injury in. So putting something natural on there like the pain away all does wonders. And guess what it does, guys? Not only does it take that pain away right then, prolonged use will get rid of that pain at some point. Now, not medical advice. You have to check and you have to come to your own conclusion. But having testimonies that come through, and we have a lot of them, will help you actually determine whether this is something that will work for you. We have them on our website. And if you have them now, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. That way, the people who are looking into it will actually know.
Unless you have a bone-on-bones issue. If you have a bone-on-bone issue, that's a whole new ball game. I see somebody just asked about bone-on-bone. The pain away will help. Our aunt, she always say, my patch don't help, the injections don't help. But when I use y'all oil, it helped tremendously. Now the issue will be there because you have a bone-on-bone issue, but it will help you be able to walk upstairs and move around better. And, you know, when you got that bone-on-bone issue, you don't feel like getting up to do nothing. But that pain away will help you so you can stand and wash dishes or your floors or even go for a walk. It will help you get through till you can get that issue taken care of.
And see, a lot of times, a lot of that happens because, you know, if you've been an active person a lot of your life and running, you know, you will wear out your joints. And then at later ages, you're going to have an issue. And the problem with that is then you start gaining weight at later ages. And then as you gain that weight, it's making it even more difficult. And you can't lose the weight if you can't move around because you're so uncomfortable. So it's a whole thing. You just have to keep up with it. If you ever look at a skeleton of a runner, it looks horrible. You know, running's supposed to be good for us, right? But it is bad, you know.
It's hard on the joints.
Yeah, for your joints, you know. And you may not feel it right then, but later on in life, you gonna get it. My aunt got bone on bone, but you know, my mom and my aunts, all of them, they were ball players. Like, you know, softball was a thing when we grew up. And that's all they did was they played on teams and softball. So that's probably a good, you know, a reason why she may be having those problems right now. But if you got bone on bone, you know, you will probably end up having to get that fixed. But I'm gonna tell you, even after you get it fixed, you're gonna still be in pain.
Yeah. Valerie, I don't recommend DM, but it's a product that you can use. You just need to know how to use it because it can do some things. So you definitely want to do your research in that. I'm a person with chronic arthritis. I use the pain away oil and get to visit my garden twice weekly from not gardening from the last 4 years. Good.
That's amazing.
Good.
Love those stories.
Yeah.
Love
With
those.
bone on bone, you'll have to use it daily, even when no pain. So yeah, that's another thing too. I tell people if you have chronic pain or issues like a bone on bone, you want to use it 3-4 times a day, especially in the beginning. But when you find those days where you don't have pain and you forgot to use your pain away and you thought about it, use it because you don't want that pain to come back. But you got to be consistent and use it for a couple weeks at first. And then you'll find yourself jumping up and going and doing stuff and you'll be like, wait a minute, well, what happened to the pain? Because it'll go away. So
these natural remedies, guys, ways, you know, do your research on all of them because they absolutely work. And if you're new to them, you may be doubtful. You think the only way to go is through a pharmacy on everything. You know, you're gonna need to change that way of thinking, or you're gonna continue on having the issues that you're having because they don't put anything. Think about this, guys. If these things actually fix problems and they duplicating what they're supposed to do, why are they taking away the problem, the part that fixes? Why are they only giving you the part that will pacify?
Yeah.
You know, because just like any drug, you know, drug dealer, you know, whether in a suit and tie or on a street corner, the object is to keep you coming back. If I give it to you one time, you never want it no more, or never need it anymore, then how can we make money? That's not a good business practice. We need you to keep coming back. That goes for the chemicals that they're putting in your food. Why you craving the sodas? Why you craving the cookies and the cakes and this, the chemicals that they put in it for you to crave it.
Even lotions, makeup, hair products, all that stuff. I did see somebody say, for hair, an easy concoction to make for your hair is extra virgin olive oil, rosemary, and fenugreek. Mix those together. I let mine sit in a bunch of herbs all the time and use that. So I make Bobby's hair, what is it? Beard oil and my hair oil. But again, extra virgin olive oil, fenugreek, and rosemary. I do put some castor oil in that too. And if you can't afford, because we understand some people are on a fixed income or they can't get castor oil for, pain away for a few more weeks or a certain day they have to order. If you have castor oil, rub that castor oil, drop some in your navel at bedtime so you can start helping yourself. If you need extra help or you can afford the pain away, I always recommend pain away because that stuff is amazing.
Just about everything that we have made, we have talked about other ways you can get some of those reliefs. So you're not just relying on what we provide, but if you decide to get what we provide, we think we made a superior product, but there's other ways to get that relief. May not be as fast, may not be quite as good, but they work.
It does work. Yeah.
So
yeah, you can grow fenugreek. We grow fenugreek. We grow rosemary. So you can do so much for yourself. It's just the world has conditioned us to depend on the store, big pharma, and the government. You can do so much for yourself. It's so much healthier. God already provided us with all we need. We just need to learn how to use it, and this is why we do what we do, and have started sharing how to do this, how to do things for yourself, and hopefully teach our kids this is how we do. We ship on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays we ship. At times vary. If you miss Monday's shipment, you'll definitely go out on Wednesday. If you miss Wednesday, you'll go out on Monday, unless we get too many orders to keep up. But we usually try to, within 3 days, we usually try to have your order out. We definitely try not to go 5 days or so. Now, sometimes we may not have a correct address or apartment number and your order is returned back to us. You have to pay a reship fee at that time and we'll ship it again, confirm your address. But other than that, if you don't get your order within 7 to 10 days or something, I know the mail can be slow sometimes. The holidays are coming. Reach out to us and say, hey, I see my package is stuck in Jacksonville or my package is stuck somewhere, because we don't want to go 2-3 months. You paid for your order, it's yours. We want to make sure you get it the same way we sent it off. So stay in contact with us and say, hey, I have not received my order and I ordered 10 days ago and I see my order is stuck here. So make sure your address is correct. Make sure your email address is correct, because that's where your confirmation will come for your order and your tracking number will come once I process it. Yes, we do send to a P.O. box.
Yeah, my doctor get mad because she wouldn't take pain meds.
Yeah, somebody emailed me and said, hey, look, I've been on a lot of pain meds that don't work. I tried your pain away oil and I'm taking all this stuff back to my doctor. I'm telling you, y'all, God is good. He is in the healing business and he is willing and able to heal us. We just have to do our work. We can't just sit back and say, God help me, and expect him to help us. We gotta do our part.
Believe, guys, the pain meds are absolutely drugs. They are drugs that you will get addicted to. And some people fall victim and become bona fide drug addicts because of the addiction that these pain meds put them in. And a lot of these people are just regular people that actually went to the doctor because they got injured or, had an accident, they had a surgery, and they got on the pain meds. and they never could get off. So, and it's because it's a drug. And your body build up an equilibrium to a drug, it's gonna call for that drug. Then that's called addiction. And most of us can say we can stop it whenever we want. You can't, because your body is gonna be calling for it. You will not feel good without it. So do not stay on any pain med for no significant amount of time.
Don't feel like you have to stay on any meds because they'll tell you, oh, you got to be on this for the rest of your life. What does God say? Always do your own research. Always look into how I can help myself and not just depend on these doctors saying this is the rest of your life, because that's not what God says. So, all right. I got work to do.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all for joining us. If you have not, give us a reaction. YouTube, Facebook, give us a reaction. It helps us out in the algorithm. We appreciate y'all for being here this morning.
Yes.
Till the next time. Yeah.
Yes, don't forget that the website will update tomorrow morning by 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We know things are sold out, but there are things that are available. We will update that in the morning, every Monday morning, and we got a shipment going out tomorrow.
So I see some messages coming through, but hey, I will read through some of this stuff. It's something I can answer later. I will. But if it's a whole lot, or if it's something that we already talked about, I'm probably not. We will talk about other things, and we will talk about this again because there's constantly new people coming in, and we want everybody to have it.
Yeah, this will stay up. So catch the replay and hashtag replay. Let us know where are you tuning in from. We definitely appreciate you. Our website is blackstropical.com. I think it's scrolling at the top of our screen.
So guys, appreciate y'all. Till the next time.
Don't let nobody steal your joy.